Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. We're back at the tasting station.
Okay, we look a little schlubby today, I think. The bottles behind us are in total disarray. Everything's out of order. We took a lot of the things and put them in storage before we left. We're back with a whole bunch of bottles we brought home from our 205 days on the road, and we're just going to talk about them in no particular order, do a list, and the next time you see us, we will be more well-dressed, more well-kempt. We will have everything organized and clean and looking good on the shelves. But for today, all we wanted to do was talk about the bottles that we brought home, and you already got a box on your lap. I know you're ready for this.
Yeah, and I want to say, we'll be clean and, gussied up, but this is basically what I wear every day, all day long. So I won't be that much more gussied up.
Okay, well, don't get too excited, I guess. Absolutely. First and foremost, we went to this distillery right here, Andalusia, and we did a video earlier this year where we talked about the bottles that we picked up there, so we're not going to dwell too long on this, but I think it's worth talking about.
Yeah.
4 different bottles from this distillery, and here we go. Number 1 is super smoked. Okay, we're going to start off with the most aggressive of the smoke.
Whatever we pull out of the box is what you start with.
Right, we said no particular order. Striker super smoked. I believe this is a distillery exclusive, and it sounds really aggressive and brutal on your palate. Not that at all, just a really nice, pleasant smoke. And by the way, this is smoked with oak, mesquite, and apple wood. So very interesting whiskey and nice smoke on the Striker. This happens to be super smoked.
And you think that Phil picked this one out, but you'd be wrong. It was actually my choice.
There you go. Next up is, there's 5 bottles in that box, isn't there?
There are.
Okay, this was a gift from our friend Oscar. This is Striker Smoked Single Malt, finished in ex-hock Madeira casks. This one is 124.2 proof. I believe that this is the bottle that just won them some massive award over in Europe. It's not the same barrel, but the same idea. Fantastic whiskey, and yeah, we got into that one. Thank you so much, Oscar.
I realize we're going to have to start ripping through these because there's a whole shelf over there.
Yeah, we better get moving quick. Andalusia whiskey, American Single Malt, bottled in bond. You don't see a ton of bottled in bond American Single Malt or Texas whiskey, so that's an interesting bottle right there. And keep your eyes open because that one, I believe, is now a regular release from Andalusia. Revenant Oak, peated version of the Striker. And this is, oh man, is this a tasty one. Got into this one, I believe, on the last night of the trip.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just laughing because it feels like an auctioneer right now.
How much would you go? What'd you say? Did we only get into this one night?
I think it was the last thing that we tasted on the road.
Wow, did we put a hurt on that one? Okay, there you go. We must have been excited.
And finally,
last but not least, it is Striker, the bottle we probably should have started this section with. This is the base model Striker, 100 proof. Just a delicious whiskey, and if you see this on the shelf and you're thinking, maybe I'd like to get into a little smoke, this is really the bottle to do it with. I think I would definitely pick this one up.
So as you can see, we loved Andalusia. It was a great visit. And we apparently love boxes because we've got this beauty right here that we took home with us.
Westward, this is actually a bottle that was shipped to us. We got this one on the road, and most exciting thing about that is that it's the bottle we celebrated my 100-mile race finish with. That was the reason we left the house to begin with back in September of 2024. This bottle, they shipped it. They were so gracious to ship it ahead of us, and my folks brought it out, and that's the bottle that we sipped to celebrate 100 miles. We did it together. How about that?
I just was along for the ride.
No, you were awesome. A beautiful bottle, a beautiful presentation, a very nice balanced whiskey. Thank you so much to Westward. Hey, another interesting package you got there.
I'm getting all the heavy hitters out because it's a lot.
Our friend Russ D gifted us this back in Charleston. You might be looking at it going, why isn't it open? Didn't you guys want to get into it? We're in the van. Things have to get pushed to the back and organized so that things aren't falling down. And I'm very eager to get into this. I know you are too.
Yeah.
This is the Generations of Proof from 2019, the final chapter. I love it because it shows there's a character map on the side. I've talked about this little kit before and how excited I am for it. But we'll get into it now that we're home. Well, I'm sure we'll do at least a Patreon tasting of this one. But thanks again to Rusty. What a fantastic gift. That is super cool.
I love the packaging too.
Here's another bottle we picked up in Charleston.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even mean that.
We didn't actually pick it up. It was gifted to us by our friend Rarebird 101. That's David Jennings. The Raconteur Rye. Batch 2 was awesome. This is Batch 3. We haven't even opened it. We wanted to save it until we got home to get into this one. You can actually see Batch 2 right back here on the shelf. And now we're going to have to do a side-by-side. 8 years aged, 120-ish proof, 118 proof. Beautiful. These are always great. Raconteur Rye. Get these if you see them online. Don't hesitate because they go quick. What else you got over there?
All right, we're gonna go to Texas again.
No, we're not.
Oh, sorry. You're right. We're going to Tucson.
Tucson, Arizona Whiskey Del Bach. 2 bottles that we really, really love. And these are new releases every single year. They change a little bit every single year, and they're worth exploring every single year. The most exciting one to me, I believe, this year is the Frontera. 1% smoked malt has been added into there. Makes a huge difference. The flavors are incredible in that bottle. And right here, Ode to Isla. I've been trying to get my greedy little mitts on one of these for years.
Have.
Oh, man. And you can see I've done some damage to this bottle. 110 proof. Beautiful whiskey. Both of these are fantastic. If you haven't tried Whiskey Del Bach, I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. If you like the smoke, check out the Dorado. It's probably on the shelves nearby. If you don't like smoke, check out the Classic. Check them all out. They're all fantastic.
So we did a video on this already.
Yep.
But it's the Wyoming whiskey. It is the National Parks, aged 5 years, and it is batch number 3.
Fantastic whiskey. If you're interested in seeing that one, I will link it here somewhere so you can check out the tasting of that. But yeah, picked that up in California, and we are only in Oregon, so we did a little damage to that one too. We just talked about the Wyoming whiskey. The same video we talked about this Smokeye Hill Bourbon. Unreal, by the way. Big proof, big flavors, fantastic whiskey. And that one right there, which Julie is absolutely in love with. It's your favorite bottle ever, isn't it?
Sure is.
Julie's not so sure about that flavor profile. I think we better get into that one a little bit more together and explore it. But you can see I've enjoyed the heck out of that bottle. Fantastic. Just another absolute win from Lost Lantern. Smokeye Hill, Lost Lantern. Don't be surprised to see either one of those bottles on the end of your list. For me, I think they're both fantastic. Next up, Elijah Craig Single Barrel. We love high proof Elijah Craig whiskey. This is a private barrel from Bacaba Liquors of Sandwich, Illinois. All of that stuff is fun to say. This was a gift from our friend Julia Kay. We've been toting this around with us since November 2.
Yeah, it's another one we didn't want to have open in the van, but we can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, 9 years aged and 121.4 proof. Just so much high proof stuff already open in the van. We decided to hold on to this one until we got home. And yeah, this is another one that's going to be tasted on Patreon, I suspect. Fantastic. Excited to get into that one. Thanks again, Julia Kay.
It's been a while since we've been the Taster Chaser. We keep showing the bottles behind the microphone.
Out of practice, y'all. Out of practice. Not that we were ever that good at to begin with.
Speaking of gifts.
How about that? Yeah, Daryl Hudson got us this one all the way from Rio in Brazil. How about that? This is Jack Daniel's American Single Malt Oloroso Sherry Cask. Every time we've visited this bottle, we found great, dark, deep, rich, amazing flavors in it. Not an easy bottle to get your hands on, I suppose, because it's a duty-free thing. Just a unique bottle that has really hit my palate. I love this one. Thanks again, Daryl. Next up is a bottle that Julie drank all by herself on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, we knew we were going to be on the road during St. Patrick's Day, and we had to have some sort of Irish whiskey in the van, so...
Yeah, we got this one really affordably. I think we got it for $17 or $18 in Indiana as we were passing through. And we said, well, we're going to need to have a bottle for St. Patrick's Day, so we held on to it until St. Patrick's Day. This is Glendalough Double Barrel Irish Whiskey, 984 proof, and it's aged in bourbon barrels and then finished in sherry barrels. You really liked this one. I liked it enough. It was great for that price. I wouldn't have paid the $30 for it, I don't think, in the future. But a very nice little sipper that we paired with some beers over the St. Patrick's Day week. And yeah, we put a hurt on this one too.
Yeah, we really celebrated. That one, good amount of
We love St. Patrick's Day.
These are kind of fun.
Yeah, next up is Kings County Distillery American Whiskey made from peated malt, single malt. These are 94 proof, and they're kind of known for being pricey, even though they're kind of known for being young. This is batch number 2, and I saw these sitting on the shelf at a liquor store, just sitting way in the back, and they were obviously dusty. And there were 7 or 8 of them on the shelf. I said, well, how much for those? And they sold all of them to me for $18. And so we have 2 left. We've been giving them to people as we travel across the country. And I actually enjoyed this whiskey. I thought it was quite good for that price.
If I recall, your dad really liked these as well.
Yeah, we left him one.
She is so beautiful. The packaging, the bottling. I love everything about this Jimmy Red.
This is a Julie pickup. honestly, we got to try it, and Julie ran over at the distillery and grabbed the last bottle off the shelf. You weren't going to let anybody get in your way.
Yeah, there was 7 left, and I grabbed one, and then I told, because we were doing a Patreon meetup, and I told our patrons, I was like, you should definitely get that.
Don't sleep on it.
Yeah, it's worth the money, and it sold out in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, Julie, quite the athlete. When she starts throwing elbows, get
Watch
out of the way. Absolutely. This is Jimmy Red's aged 7 years, wheated bourbon, 107 proof, and we actually have our own single barrel that we selected of Jimmy Red bourbon coming soon. Also, I believe 7 years aged and 124 proof. Their longest aged, highest proof single barrel that they've ever parted with. That's being bottled this week, I believe, which means it'll be in the online store fairly soon. So keep your eyes open for that one. You don't want to miss it. They are making great stuff over at Highwire Distilling in Charleston. Put it on the other side of the mic again.
We just so happened to run into our friend Caitlin down in Tucson. And we got our greedy little mitts on some McCarthy's.
Yeah, this one right here is the one that she gifted to us. It was very kind of her. Oregon Single Malt Whiskey, PX Sherry Cask finished, aged 6 years, 112.2 proof. My goodness, did we put a hurt on this bottle since we got our hands on it in Tucson. And of course, the bottle that sold out while we were gone. This is the bottle that kicked off my love for all things smoked and McCarthy's and single malt. This is just a single barrel cask strength whiskey, 113 proof, and I loved this one. And I want to thank everybody who bought it out while we were on the road, so I can't get it anymore. It's a real shame, but we will get by because there's always more McCarthy's on the shelf. So a huge thank you to Caitlin and a huge thank you to McCarthy's for just continuing to produce unreal whiskey. If you haven't tried it yet, you really, really should. Yeah.
We found it.
Yeah.
For a reasonable price.
Absolutely, yeah. We picked that one up in Indiana. We already had one, which we actually finished on the road. We shared it with everybody, and I couldn't resist buying a backup when I saw this on the shelf. I think it was $50, which is exactly what it should be. And beautiful whiskey there. That's the Wild Turkey Jimmy Russell 70th, aged 8 years, 101 proof. And what can you say about this bottle? Wild Turkey. It's just fantastic bourbon. It was our #1 bottle of the year last year because it was such a special bottling, and I'm so happy we were able to grab a backup of it. Delicious whiskey.
Not a lot to say about the 1910. This actually came with us in the van.
Yep.
We have a video of what we brought with us. This is what we brought home, and I'm bringing this home too. Since I'm the only one that drank it on the road, I did pretty good on this one.
Yeah, nice work. You definitely put in the work on that one, and you deserve all the accolades. Old Forester 1910, if you are new to whiskey and you haven't tried that yet, you better.
J.T. Meleck.
Yeah, next up is a Louisiana special. This is rice whiskey right here, 118 proof. This is their high proof small batch whiskey. Don't call it bourbon. It is absolutely delightful whiskey. We think that this is such a tasty butterscotch soaked beverage. Louisiana handcrafted whiskey. If you're looking at this bottle going, that's not Kentucky whiskey, how can it be any good? Trust us, that's good whiskey. Well, here's a bottle that was gifted to us by Vince and Becky Beasley. It's Lucky 7, the Frenchman, and this is 113 proof. It's aged in French oak, and the reason that they gifted us this is because we had enjoyed a Frenchman single barrel in Chicago so much. Based on that, they went out and bought this one that's not a single barrel. And then they said, we don't like that. And they gave it to us when we met up with them in Austin. And obviously, we've enjoyed it quite a lot. It's not as good as that single barrel. Absolutely not. But it's still quite good, and we're still glad that we were able to sip on this throughout our travels in the van. So a huge thank you to Vince and Becky for sharing this bottle with us. Even though you didn't like it that much, we definitely did. So thanks again.
So we have a couple more whiskeys to talk about, but first we have to talk about these beers that were gifted us by Tim and Teresa Gallivan.
Yeah, they gave us some whiskey samples when we met up with them in DeKalb, Illinois, and then they came all the way to Austin to see us.
They did. I love it.
Amazing. And they said, you guys probably have enough whiskey, so how would you like some beer? And, Bourbon County Stout, and this one here, I keep forgetting the name of it, but it looks delightful. Barrel-aged stuff, which is always exciting. And this one is a Goose Island Bourbon County cask finish stout, aged in Origin Series rye barrels from Bardstown and finished in toasted cherry wood and oak barrels. Look at that beauty right there.
I know.
Somehow or another, we were able to not drink these while we were on the road because we want to get them the perfect temperature to enjoy each one. And we can't wait to get into these now that we're home. Yeah, we really love beer, and these are beautiful. Thank you so much again.
Thanks, guys. If you're thinking, how did they fit all this in the van? We didn't take much else with.
Next up, what might be one of my favorite whiskeys of the entire trip. It might be my favorite whiskey of the trip. Hard Truth, Indiana. We were literally just ripping by. We were in a hurry to get to Charleston, and we happened to see a sign for it. And Julie was busy working, and so I just turned off the highway and went for it.
Yeah,
and
it was only like 20 miles off the road. And totally worth the stop, though.
Yeah, and the next time you looked up, you're like, where are we?
Yeah,
and
it was beautiful, too.
Don't worry about it. And I was already out of the van running toward the distillery. Hard Truth Barrel Finish Reserve Sweet Mash Rye. This is rye whiskey finished in French oak cognac barrels, and I think this one's 107 proof. I don't see it on here. 108 proof. I was really close. Loving this bottle, and we actually stashed it at some point. We put it way in the back so that we didn't drink the whole thing. We were on the road because this is definitely one that's going to be on our end of year list. We wanted to make sure that we had some to bring home and enjoy here at the tasting station. Fantastic. This whiskey's so good. Hard Truth knocked it out of the park with this one. If you are anywhere near Hard Truth in Indiana and you see this bottle, get it.
Last up is one more rye whiskey.
Yeah, I noticed this one doesn't have a proper label on it. It's just a tiny little bottle of goodness here. If you're wondering what it is from our friends at Still Austin. Furthermore, this is our new single barrel that has already shipped out from Texas. It is going to the online store, and you'll be able to get this soon. This is 117.5 proof, 5 years aged rye whiskey. It tingles the tongue like cherry cola. It tastes like cherry cola. Absolutely beautiful, complex, delicious rye whiskey. And if you're wondering who could have picked such a great whiskey, this is Julie's pick. This is all about her. We both agreed it was the best, but she was the first one to say, this is awesome. This is the one we're going with out of all the whiskeys we tried. And of course, she was right from the start. So keep an eye out. Still Austin. This single barrel is coming very, very soon. You'll be able to get it from Shared Pour. And that is going to be, I believe, the first bourbon van pick that comes out in 2025. There's a couple more coming, but we are so excited about this one. We've been wanting to get down there. We've been talking with Christian from Still Austin for over a year about this pick, and we finally were able to get down there and make it happen. So a huge thank you to Still Austin for letting us make this pick, and to Shared Pour for splitting it with us, and you'll be able to get that one very, very soon. And with that, we were able to shut down this video. We've been talking on here for 25 minutes. I thought this was going to be like a 10-minute video. I'm going to have some editing to do.
There was a lot more bottles than I thought we had in the van, because every night we'd stop at the campground and grab ourselves a pour, and I always just drank the same thing. And now seeing all of this, I was like, what was I doing?
Yeah, we had quite a selection on board. I would say that of all the other campers that we saw out there, we had the best whiskey selection.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, okay, we'll give ourselves the medal for that. Well, let us know, out of all the bottles that we talked about, what are the bottles that you would be most excited to sip along with us? Let us know what your favorite pickup of the year has been, and from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.